Let's check in on my savings progress for May 2025. Hey, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Autumn, and I'm out here trying to be somebody's rich auntie, okay? I am trying to reach rich auntie status, which to me means two things. Number one, being completely debt-free, and number two, having a net worth of over $1 million. Now, I not only want to be rich in money, because yes, I do want to be rich in money, but I want to be rich in joy and positive life experience, and I believe that being disciplined with my finances can help me achieve that. I invite you to follow along on this journey by subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to ding that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Today we are talking about the progress of our high yield savings accounts, but before we do that, let me give you some stats about myself. Again, my name is Autumn. I am 39 years old. I'm married. My husband Richard is 45 years old, and we are dinkwads, meaning double income, no kids, with a dog, who might as well be a kid at this point, but I digress. We live in Louisville, Kentucky, and I work as a career corporate trainer. Let's see how I did in terms of saving this month by hopping into the spreadsheet. All right, so we actually made some major changes to our savings goals this month, and I will go over those with you, but let's talk about what each of the columns in the spreadsheet means. Firstly, we have the high yield savings account goals. So what is the actual name of the category? We see here, we actually have two high yield savings accounts. One is for emergency fund, and really all I want to have in there is just 6 to 12 months of expenses. So the emergency fund is really income replacement. Right now, the initial goal is $30,000. That's about 6 months. Once we get past that, I really want to build up 12 to 24 months. I know y'all might not like me have that much in cash, but it's okay because I'm gonna have so much invested that even this cash amount won't be too bad, but I really, really want to have a lot of cash on hand. It's just me. I don't know. Okay. But also we have another high yield savings account called Fund Money. And so this is where a lot of sub-sinking accounts are. So this is where we are going to save for home and auto maintenance, where any vacations that we have coming up, Christmas gifts, like anything that needs, money to be set aside that is not strictly the income replacement, like 6 to 12 months worth of expenses, that's going to go in Fund Money. And it has its own line for us to keep track of how much money is going toward each category. Going across the top, we have the goal amount. So how much did I set aside, or how much do I want in the high yield savings account in order to consider this category fully funded? That's the goal. And then I also have current goal amount, because there are some categories, namely vacation, where I have an initial goal, but then as we get closer to that travel, I'm actually spending money out of that sinking fund as I'm still contributing to it. And so say, for instance, I have a goal of saving $4,000 and then I spend $1,000 on hotel. So now my goal is no longer to save up $4,000. It's to save up that remaining goal, which is $3,000. So that's why we have the initial goal amount and the current goal amount. And then we have the starting balance. So what was the starting balance of this particular sinking fund category for the month? Did we make any deposits toward that particular category? The interest that we earn in our high yield savings account, what category are we assigning that to? The peak balance is just the highest balance for the month. And then withdrawal, did I spend any money out of that high yield savings account category for the month? That will go here. And then that being said, what is our ending balance? And based on our ending balance and really how much we spent, is there an updated goal amount? So what's that current goal amount? And then what is the amount needed in order to reach that current goal? Okay, so that's all in terms of column setup, but now we're going to go through each of these categories and talk about the current status of my goals and the categories that we have listed here. So emergency fund, that is, again, just pretty straightforward income replacement. Right now, I want to have $30,000 in there, and the current goal is still $30,000. That will never change. So even if we end up spending from that, I always want to work our way back up to $30,000. Next, we have Fund Money, which is made up of a lot of different sinking fund categories. So first, this is a big change. So it used to be a car down payment. So we are really close, like 4 payments away from paying off my husband's car. And then we are immediately going to start aggressively saving to buy me a new car. My current car is from 2008. girl, she needs to upgrade. So we're going to pay off my husband's car, and then we were going to save to put a down payment on a new car. But the more and more I thought about it, like the thought of a monthly car payment just became less and less attractive. And so our plan is to put away $3,000 a month toward the car payment. And I'm just like, we could save for 5 months and have $15,000 as a payment, or we could just save for 10 months and have $30,000 and then just buy a car. And then I would have a new car and no new monthly payment to go along with it. So actually last month we made the decision to change car down payment to car fund. Like, we want to save up cash for a new car, and I want to save $36,000. So I know what kind of car I want. I either want like a Mazda CX-5 or a Toyota RAV4. Right now I have a Ford Escape, and those cars are compact SUVs, like pretty much the exact same style, but I want to go with a more reliable brand like Toyota or Mazda at this point. And so everything that I've been looking at gets me out of the door for like $33,000. So like taxes, fees, anything like that, even an initial maintenance fund. Like, I just want to save up $36,000. And that's a solid 12 months of saving, $3,000 a month. And then we will be able to buy the car flat out. So that's huge, because I used to only want to be saving $15,000, and now I want to save $36,000. Next, we have home and auto maintenance. This is anything like, small and or large that needs to be fixed with the home and the car. I want to save up $5,000 there. Next, we have home taxes and insurance. So I save up and I pay my taxes and insurance on my own. I don't have escrow through my mortgager. So every month I transfer money here to pay my taxes and insurance on an annual basis. Next, we have standby travel. So standby travel is a $6,000. My goal is $6,000. I want it to kind of be like a piggy bank for just unexpected or spontaneous travel. Even though I love to plan ahead, there are some times where I just want to say, like, hey, they have a really good deal on Mediterranean cruises sailing in 2 months. Like, why don't we just go on one of those? And so I don't want to have to know about a vacation a long time ahead of time and save up toward it. I just want to have like a stash of money on standby in case we spontaneously want to go somewhere. So that's called standby travel. Next, we have Christmas and other gifts. We have $1,500. Again, dinkwads, no kids, really nobody to buy Christmas presents for. And, we have family and parents and etc. But like, it's really just for gift cards and gifts for us as well. So any gifts that we buy for ourselves and each other through the year would go in there as well. Okay, now at the bottom, this is all upcoming travel that I have. So we are taking a family trip to Savannah, Georgia in August. My initial goal was $4,000, but I have spent some money out of that because that's coming up in August. So our updated goal is $2,236. In October, she turns 40 in July, but I'm going on a 40th birthday trip to New York with my husband and my best friends. And so I'm saving up for that. My goal was $5,000 there. And I've spent a lot of money already for flight and hotel. So the updated goal is $2,700. Next, okay, so the Paris trip is still on here. Me and my husband are thinking maybe we are going to not go to Paris, but we're going to take like a Mediterranean cruise. And I really haven't looked up the price for that yet. But I mean, saving $5,000 is still going to be helpful. So I don't know if that's going to actually be Paris, but we will be taking a trip early next year, just me and my husband. And then in 2026, in July, my best friend, one of my best friends that I'm going to New York with, ride or die, she came across this like glamping trip in the Catskills of New York. And she was like, do you want to go to this? And I was like, absolutely. And so I just put the initial budget around $3,000. So that's what I'm saving up to go glamping next year with my best friend. And then in August of next year, we are going on a family trip, me, my husband, and my mother, to Los Angeles. We are really big fans of movies and the studios and things like that. So I want to go out there, take a bunch of studio tours, be in California because it's beautiful, but that's over a year away, and the goal for that is $6,000. All right, now that we have all the categories taken care of, let's talk about did we actually make any progress? Did we do anything in these categories this month for the month of May? So heading all the way back up toward my emergency fund. So every month I transfer $75 to each of the sinking funds. So for the emergency fund, I transferred $75. Also, the interest that's earned goes toward the emergency fund as well. So this month the interest was $8.49. Making a peak balance of $2,917. Now, later in the month, if you watched my budget video, later in the month, we had a garage door emergency, and I ended up having to spend $1,400 on the garage door, and I decided to draw that money from the emergency fund because I really didn't have anywhere else to pull it from. And so I took $1,395 out of the emergency fund in order to pay for our garage door. And that made me really sad. But I mean, again, I was grateful that we had it there. But after that, so that was on the 27th of May. But on the 30th of the month, I got an extra paycheck, which I decided to put all that money toward my high yield savings accounts sinking funds. So I was actually able to replenish the emergency fund with $444.24. So I was able to add an additional $444 back into the emergency fund. I still have about $1,000 to go in order to recoup that entire $1,395, but I was happy to be able to put 444 additional dollars in there, making my ending balance $1,967.08. That is a far cry from the $30,000 goal amount, meaning I'm just $28,032 away from having my emergency fund completely funded. Like, we will get there 1 month at a time. Eventually, after I pay off some debt, I do plan to aggressively build up this savings, like way more than just $75 a month. But right now, that's all we're doing, and that is better than zero. Now, if we come down to fund money, if we look at my starting balances for a majority of these sinking funds, it is straight up $0. So I don't have any money in the car fund just yet. I don't have any money in home maintenance, because that's really where I would have liked to get the garage door money from, but I don't have it there yet. So I do have money in home taxes and insurance because I have to put money here every month to start accumulating for my insurance and tax payments, even though they happen once a year. So I was able to put $307 in there. I put $307 a month. So I started with $1,016. Put 307. I didn't spend any money this month, thank goodness. So my ending balance is $1,323 in terms of taxes and insurance. I didn't contribute any money to standby travel, and I didn't contribute any money to Christmas and other gifts. And I mean, those will get funded at some point, but right now there's $0 in them. And whenever I get some extra money, this is where it will go. So my main savings goal right now is the Savannah trip. So because that's coming up in August, like, everything is booked and it just needs to be paid for. So anytime I do that $75 transfer every month, so my $75 goes here, as well as the interest that I earn from the high yield savings account, I put that toward Savannah as well. So $75, the interest that was earned was $10.37. So my starting, again, the updated balance was $2,200 because I've already spent a significant amount of money for flights and Airbnb. I already had nearly $1,900 in there, so I'm really close to this being fully funded. So I put in my $75, earned $10 in interest, didn't spend any money this month, and so my ending balance is $1,975. And remember, I'm only trying to reach $2,236. So that's only $260.42. And then that will be completely funded. I'm very excited about that. And then I did make an update to the New York City trip. We'll talk about that in a second. And then nothing for these 3 upcoming trips. I mean, they're next year. And so I will be saving for that as I get extra checks and extra income. But speaking of extra checks, remember, I put some of that money in the emergency fund, but I actually put the majority of my extra check money toward my trips here. So my New York City trip coming up in October, I need $2,717. I started off, I already have $621 in that account, but thanks to my extra check, I was able to deposit $2,000 $2,795.34, which brings my total up to $2,717.24, which, if you see here, means that New York City is completely funded. Boo, boo, boo. Happy birthday to me. It was an early birthday present. So I'm so excited. I don't have to worry about saving for New York City anymore. This is completely funded. I'm just going to let this ride until October. I'm really, really excited. And not only that, I had some money left over. So I was actually able to add an additional $34 or $35.42 to Savannah. And what that means, I did that intentionally. So what that means is that now my ending balance is $211, and I only need $2,236, meaning that my remaining balance is $225. And guess what $225 is? That is 75 divided by 3. So what that means is June, July, and August, that $75 transfer, that's going to fully fund that right in August. Now, we're not going until the end of the month, so me putting that money in there at the beginning of the month will fully fund it, and I'm very excited. And what this also means is that now I can start putting my interest toward another category. Comment down below, what category should I start putting the interest in? I am going to say home and auto maintenance, because here's the thing. When we pay off my husband's car in September, we are immediately going to start saving for my car. So the car fund is going to start getting aggressively funded in October. So I don't need to put my measly $10 in interest a month toward that. But having some money, as I can see, having some money in home and auto maintenance would definitely help. So I think I'm going to start putting my interest there, but let me know, what should it go toward? I'm just so happy that the two major trips of this year are fully funded, or on their way to being fully funded, but like, chef's kiss. I can see myself in New York City already, so I'm really excited about that. Comment down below, how did your savings plans go this month? Did some unexpected stuff pop up, like my garage door catastrophe? Or did everything go on track? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.